Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Every place where you are tuned on to the Life Signatures Radio. In this podcast, we talk about purpose, productivity. We talk about resilience. Why? Because these three things are interconnected, and this is what life is all about. Life is about purpose. Life is about productivity. And life, being we're living in a fallen black world, is also about resilience. You cannot have been a human being who doesn't make sense of these three aspects of our lives. And so purpose, productivity, and resilience. And normally we do this by deploying series of messages over a particular topic. And the topic that we're handling at this moment in time is the purpose economy. I'm talking about the power of collaboration in the purpose economy, 4 ways to collaborate effectively. And even before we can even start talking about that collaboration itself, we need to narrow down and to unpack what the purpose economy is all about. And that's what we've been doing in the past 3 or so episodes. We're going to continue doing the same in this episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
For the purpose economy to really work or to be accelerated, I think we've got to accept the fact that it's coming or it's here already. When you see organizations, big time organizations, start saying that it's not a must for you to have a degree so that you can be employed and work with us, it's telling you something. In fact, when you see very many quote unquote employable people not being employed, it's communicating to us something. And it's been communicating to us for decades. It's not just this 2000s and so on, this millennium. Even in the past millennium, it was already communicating. You see, we've gone through very many revolutions in life. And I think I said in passing yesterday that the purpose economy was the ideal from the beginning. I always wondered, who was that first guy to be termed as unemployed? If you go back to the beginning, if you believe in the Bible, I'm going to go on a tangent here, probably a rabbit hole, but if you go back to the Bible in the beginning, there was abundance, and the guy was given a responsibility or responsibilities to do stuff. He was given a general responsibility. And you would expect that the environment in which he was put was not supposed to deteriorate. The environment in which he was working was not supposed to change. Even as he is multiplying, he is filling the earth, it wasn't supposed to change. It was supposed to be the ideal. The ideal, in my opinion, is that people are born, crafted already with a calling, given the capacities to do that calling in terms of their gifts, their talents, their natural abilities, and even their spiritual abilities. And then they have a passion towards making things happen, towards contribution, towards creativity, towards problem solving. And that's where they're supposed to operate. They're supposed to operate in the things that they love. And at the end of the day, the things that they love are supposed to generate value. Value is what we pay for. Value is what we're looking for as is humanity. That's why I've told you in this episode we talk about purpose and productivity. Productivity brings about value. This world rotates around looking for value. Where you are, value. Probably you're listening to these episodes because you're looking for value. If you're not looking for value in any way, you will not be tuned on to these episodes. If you perceive, by the way, if you perceive that the value you're looking for in this life is not in this episode, you will not be listening to it. But you're listening to this episode because you naturally, either directly or indirectly, are looking for value. What value, what gains can I get out of this? That's how the world has been structured. So I do believe that the ideal is what we departed from as the humanity. We departed from the ideal of the purpose economy, where people are born to do what they're supposed to do and they actually do it. Today, not everyone is doing what they're supposed to do. There are two questions I'm going to ask, or there are two scenarios I'm going to pose, and I've seen this previously. It's been posed very many times on social media. If you were to marry the person that you're married to again, would you do it? The numbers are mind-boggling in terms of those ones who say, I will not. And then the other question is, if you were to get another job that matters to you, that you're passionate about, would you leave this one? The numbers are also mind-boggling. People are stuck in an economy that is not a purpose economy for themselves as individuals. They are stuck because all they are doing is earn a living to pay bills. The biggest philosophy of their work, the reason why they wake up in the morning to go to work, is not anything to deal with purpose. It is everything, or nearly everything, to deal with eking out a living, making a living, not expending purpose, not making a contribution in this world, not creating an impact in this world. Of course, in their work, one way or another, they invariably create some form of impact. But that's not the priority as to why they go to work. So we as a human race have departed so much so from the purpose. So when we say the purpose economy is the next, like I said in the previous episode yesterday, that the purpose economy is the next dispensation that the human race is going to, it is not as if we are discovering this. I do believe it is because we departed from it. We departed from it and we have gone on a tangent. We are doing that which is not in the purpose economy. We are in the sea of sameness. This sea of sameness has been, for the most part, informed, formed, molded, structured by our respective education systems. I don't care where you come from. You might say, I'm coming from a developed country, I'm coming from the Americas, I'm coming from Europe, I'm coming from Asia, and therefore our education system is different. I am yet, ladies and gentlemen, to encounter a purpose education system. I am yet to encounter, of course, someone might argue and they might say that there is homeschooling. There's this individualistic schooling that kids normally are taken to. Homeschooling kind of a thing. There is accelerated Christian education and so on. Still, there is the idea of sameness there. And this one, it takes us home because initially people did not leave the home or the community to go and be schooled. For the most part, they were schooled from home. But today, because of the economy that we are driving at, parents leave home to go look for sustenance. They leave the kids home, and therefore we have been forced to create schools where kids can go and spend time while parents are out there looking to earn a living. Because the idea of abundance was removed from humanity. And so we've got to look for abundance first. And when we look for abundance first, a gap is left. This is my theory, ladies and gentlemen. A gap is left, and this gap has got to be created, has got to be filled by something we've created called the education system. And the education system is fixed. It's fixed because whether you come from high-born, low-born, whether you're academically inclined or not, you've got to do mathematics, physics, chemistry, agriculture, biology, economics, and so on. You see, the reason as to why I'm saying I'm yet to see a purpose education system is because there are very many people who are gifted differently in this world today who cannot find the education system that can help them. There's things we are still discovering that are not even being taught. There is no school, there's no traditional, institutionalized school, for example, that teaches people about social media management. I'm talking about traditional school. I'm not talking about a coach or a consultant somewhere coming up with a package that will help you. I'm talking about traditional schooling. So the purpose economy is something that we are not necessarily discovering. It's not new. It is what it was initially. It is the ideal. It is where the world started from. It's where we're supposed to have started from. And so we need to reevaluate ourselves, and we need to go back there. We are not discovering anything new. We just need to go back there. But it will take some doing. It will take some believing. It will take some risk taking. It will take some critical mass to make it happen. This critical mass is either going to be created by ourselves voluntarily accepting that there is such a thing as a purpose economy, and then we act accordingly, or this critical mass is going to be created slowly and gradually by those forces of abundance and scarcity that I talked about yesterday. The more there is scarcity of jobs, the more you will be forced to think about startups. The startup world is really coming. The gig economy, like I talked about in the past 3 or so episodes, the gig economy is really coming up. And it is coming up because people are creating their own startups, because there's no jobs, number one, and because they are passionate about some things. In the startup world, you'll seldom find someone creating a startup of something they hate, because no one is putting a gun on their face and telling them, do this. No, it is themselves voluntarily. That is the purpose economy in the making in the startup world. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow in the episode tomorrow. The purpose economy is here to stay, and we need to start embracing it. If you have children, let me speak to you for 1 second. If you have children and you're raising them the same way your parents are raised you, you are missing this thing in a big way. You cannot continue abdicating your responsibility as a parent to the school system. You need to start thinking ahead of time. This kid is going to have the same degree I have. What is so different about them? What is going to change? What has changed in this world? Is there a way that this kid can start adding value, creating value, being productive right now? Do they need to go and get that certificate or that diploma or that degree? Can't they start now where they are to add value in this world, one way or another? That is where the purpose economy is all about. It is not about employability. It is about problem solving. It is about creation of stuff. It's about creating an impact. And it's about making a contribution in this world. It is about creating value, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we continue. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.